Ahead of its early 2026 release, Samsung's next flagship phone is starting to take shape. With the release of the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7, we can now concentrate on Samsung's upcoming top smartphone, the Galaxy S26 series. Once more, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is anticipated to be the family's high-end member. Although the release date is still a ways off, we're starting to get a sense of what this top phone competitor would look like. Will the expectedly high cost of admission be justified? Here is everything we currently know about the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Regarding the release dates of its S-series phones, Samsung has been quite reliable in recent years. Prior to 2019, the phones would arrive in the spring, sometimes as late as May 29. But now they are released no later than March 6 with launch parties in January or February. It was also popular previously. While the S24 debuted on January 31, the Samsung Galaxy S25 emerged on February 7. Stated differently, there is a high probability that the Galaxy S26 Ultra will be available for purchase by the middle of February, with an event scheduled approximately 2 weeks prior to the release date. Whether Samsung will try to raise the price in 2026 is the key question. Starting at $1,299, the Galaxy S25 Ultra's MSRPs increased to $1,419 for 512 GB of storage or $1,659 for 1 TB, matching those of its predecessor. Hopefully, the fact that the 3 Ultra phones that came before it started at $1,199 is a sign that nothing will change for another year. Another encouraging indication is that Samsung won't have to pay more for the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2 that will power the upcoming phones than the Gen 1. If accurate, Samsung would have one less expense to pass on to customers. 1. Design. There hasn't been much of a design shift in Samsung's Galaxy Ultra phones in recent years, and there isn't much proof yet that the S26 Ultra will appear any different. There are a few little adjustments, though, that can offer some style points. To begin with, it appears that the phone will be becoming thinner. According to the trustworthy tipster Ice Universe, the phone will have a slightly increased width and height and be 7 to 8 mm thick. The S25 Ultra, for example, is 0.32 inches and 8.1 mm thick, so depending on where it hits, the difference could be very slight or significant. Fans of the S Pen may be concerned that this new thinness may be attained at the expense of the stylus's versatility. The S Pen digitizer, which powers features like pressure sensitivity and hovering choices, was supposed to be removed by Samsung, according to leaker Panda Flash Pro in June. However, he later stated that Samsung was unhappy with the test results, so maybe that means it's safe for the time being. More significantly, according to Korean leaker Crow Row, the S26 Ultra will be the first Samsung phone that does not fold to include an underscreen camera instead of the hole punch-sized notch that has been present at the top of the screen on Samsung phones since 2019. However, considering that Samsung discontinued the 4-megapixels underscreen camera from its most recent Galaxy Z Fold 7, that's obviously something to be wary about. 2. Display. While Ice Universe indicates that the screen would use ToE depolarizer technology and third-generation anti-reflective glass, we are still anticipating a 6.9-inch AMOLED panel. The S26 Ultra's anti-reflective glass could further reduce reflections when viewing content in brighter or outdoor environments, but the S25 Ultra's brilliant display makes it ideal for watching films. It will be fascinating to see if Samsung enhances its brightness, but this would be fantastic. The S25 Ultra was one of the brightest flagships in our tests, with a peak brightness of 1860 nits, surpassed only by the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which had a brightness of 2649 nits. It's difficult to predict what more Samsung might add or alter in relation to the display after that. 3. Cameras. Ice Universe hinted that Samsung would bring back the variable rate aperture for the S26 Ultra earlier this year. This would mark the first time a Samsung phone with this functionality has been released since the Galaxy S10 in 2018. With the S25 Ultra, Samsung did, however, provide a simulated aperture control. However, Ice Universe stated in August that the primary camera will have the same 200-megapixel primary sensor as the previous iteration, with an f/1.4 aperture. He then commented that this should result in 47% more light accessing the camera, which should improve image quality and lower noise in low light. Additionally, according to Flash Panda Pro, Samsung is testing a 12-megapixel sensor for the 3x telephoto camera, increasing the number of megapixels from the 10-megapixel lens on the previous iteration. The leaker also mentions a next-generation Pro Visual engine to improve image processing and a new laser AF sensor for better focusing rates. The front-facing camera is said to inherit features like 4K 120 frames per second slow-motion video recording, while the 50-megapixel ultra-wide and 5x telephoto lenses appeared to stay the same. 4. Performance. Samsung has relied on Qualcomm to power its flagships for the last several Ultra generations. The Galaxy S26 Ultra, on the other hand, is rumored to employ the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 chipset, with the possibility of an in-house Exynos chipset for some areas. According to early rumors, which originated with well-known leaker Jumpcan Lestreve, Samsung may choose to use the Exynos 2600 chipset in select areas. But the leaker continues by saying that it is likely to be equipped mainly in European models, due to reportedly low yield. If true, this would be a return to Samsung's past practice of shipping flagship models with Qualcomm-made Snapdragon silicon in some regions, including the US, and the Exynos chip in others. This means that the future Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2 chipset is expected to be used by the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. According to Digital Chat Station, the CPU and GPU will operate at 4.6 GB per second and 1.2 GB per second, respectively. Additionally, the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 chip is hinted at in the S26 Ultra's leaked firmware. According to the leaker, the chipset achieves a score of 4 million on the Antutu benchmark, so this should be a significant increase. To put it into perspective, the quickest Android smartphone currently on the leaderboard has 2,662,615 points as of this report. It may also come with an upgrade from 12 gigs to 16 gigs of RAM. Samsung may be going back to 16 gigs RAM for the first time since the Galaxy S21 Ultra, according to a graph from Macquarie Research. With AI increasing memory needs and Samsung's promotion of Galaxy AI, that would make sense. In light of this, there has been discussion about Samsung incorporating Perplexity into their Bing digital assistant. Although storage space has not yet been disclosed, it is reasonable to presume that the current configurations will not be improved. It has a capacity of 256 gigs, 512 gigs, or 1 terabytes. According to a recent rumor, Samsung's upcoming Ultra flagship may see improvements in battery life and performance. According to reports, the Galaxy S26 Ultra will come with state-of-the-art LPDDR5X RAM, which is speedier and uses less power than the memory in its predecessor. Ice Universe on X, a tipster, claims that the S26 Ultra will employ LPDDR5X 10.7 GB per second. That speed is comparable to the top speed of Micron, 1 gamma, LPDDR5X, which was unveiled in June and claims up to 20% more power efficiency than the company's previous iteration. This chip is most likely the source of the leak given the precise time and top speed. That would be an improvement above the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which Micron said would use its 1 beta LPDDR5X, but never revealed an official RAM speed. Along with the additional efficiency improvements of the 1 gamma architecture, the boost from 9.6 GB per second to 10.7 GB per second translates to an 11.5% increase in bandwidth, even if the S25 Ultra exceeded that top speed. That chip is rated for up to 9.6 GB per second. For power users, this is fantastic news. For demanding operations like 8K video capture, high frame rate gaming, and executing AI capabilities directly on the phone, higher bandwidth allows the processor to transport data in and out of memory more quickly. As on-device AI becomes more integrated into Samsung's Galaxy experience, the increased efficiency may also result in decreased battery drain during those workloads. Alongside this rumored RAM bump, the S26 Ultra is also said to include a smaller frame, a slightly larger display with fewer bezels, and a Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 CPU from TSMC. The combined leaks point to a phone with significant generational advancements across a number of components, even though Samsung has not verified any of these facts. 5. Battery. Ever since the release of the Galaxy S20 Ultra in 2020, Samsung's Galaxy Ultra phones have maintained a 5000 mAh battery capacity. When it was announced earlier in the year that Samsung was considering using silicon-carbon batteries, which could fit more capacity into the same amount of space, it appeared that this would finally change. But it now appears likely that Samsung will take use of this to decrease the battery size without compromising its capacity. According to Ice Universe and Galaxy Club, 5000 mAh will be around for another year. For power users, there is some positive battery news though. According to leaked code from One UI 8.5, charging speeds will increase to 60 watt, which is 15 watt faster than the S25 Ultra's 45 watt charging. In conclusion, although it would be extremely unexpected if the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra weren't among the top smartphones of 2026, it's unclear if current flagship owners will find the upgrade to be worth the cost. Even while the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2 and more RAM are supposed to provide unrivaled performance, other aspects seem more incremental, particularly when it comes to photography. However, the phone's release is still a long way off, and a few more intriguing additions might make this launch more than just a spectacle in 2026. So, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech news. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.